Hey guys, it's Oluchi for Ways Breakfast. Thanks for always tuning in. Our research has shown that you're probably not subscribed to our channel. What are you waiting for? Make sure you hit that subscribe button below so you never miss out on our latest content and stay in the loop with all things Ways. If the channel grows, it means more great content for you guys. So hit that subscribe button now.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population and with little or no meaningful engagement leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on Ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.
Nollywood, the Nigerian film industry, is the second largest film producer in the world after Bollywood. Now, despite limited budget, Nollywood has built a massive following across Africa and diaspora, contributing over 39, I beg your pardon, billion naira, approximately $600 million annually to Nigeria's economy and employing hundreds of thousands of people. But now Nollywood is increasingly finding a new home on YouTube, and some have said YouTube is the future of Nollywood. But is YouTube the future of Nollywood? That's the conversation for tonight. Well, it's another episode on your favorite primetime show. My name is Messi Ibopo. I trust you're having a fantastic weekend, very restful, and you're having a great time. Today, we will be discussing whether Nollywood is the future of course, whether YouTube is the future of Nollywood. That's the conversation, because some people or some quarters would say that that's actually the thing, but it will be the conversation that we'll delve into much later. Now, remember that Ways is all about you. You are the why in the Ways. All it means is that you have to be part of the conversation every day and even now. Add your voice. Head over to our YouTube channel. It's at Official Upgrade TV. Hit the subscribe button, like, share, and invite your friends to join the show now. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this particular topic when the phone lines are open. As always, please ponder on my quote for today. I think it's YouTube movies. It is the future. This will give the kind of exposure that Netflix would not give if those films get the right publicity. It's easy for anyone to access them directly from a phone. This is according to Kunle Afolayan. Well, we'll delve into this much later. But first off, let's head on a quick break. I'll be right back. Please stay with us. You're still watching Ways, hashtag, what are you saying? Now, this is what caught my interest in the news today. Retired police officers in Kaduna State say they will hold a nationwide protest on July the 21st over unpaid pensions. Now, they are demanding the police force be removed from the contributory pension scheme, which they blame for the hardship, depression, and the increasing debt among retirees. It also might interest you to know that it is only the Nigerian police that is in this contributory pension scheme. The military, the DSS, seem to have a different scheme that's more beneficial. Also, many retired officers receive as low as 20,000, I repeat, 20,000 naira, 40,000 naira monthly, despite decades of high, risk service and all that they have done, really. Because sometimes when we blame the police, we say, oh, police is, is terrible. I mean, I'm not trying to hold brief for the police or their officers and their behavior, but I'm just saying that we also need to look on the other side of the divide. Now, 20,000, 40,000 naira, this amount is barely enough for food in 2025. Not talk about healthcare, not talk about rent, especially if you live in Lagos. It's really sad. Fingers crossed, we hope that the authorities would do the needful and it would be better. I mean, I would love to see a police officer who's really looking very good, very happy. Police literally will be our friends because a hungry man is really an angry man. Away from that, now this one caught my attention. And I think it's something that should be on the international media. Everybody should talk about this because usually Nigerians and every other person are known for being fraudulent and not just doing the right thing. So a commercial tricycle rider in Aba, that's in Abia State, he goes by the name Lucky Okoro, has gone viral. That's the video if you haven't seen it already. After returning 4 million naira forgotten by a passenger in his ride, in his keke, right? So that's the video from the scene. You could see a grateful woman, the woman or the passenger who forgot 4 million naira, prayed for him. Bystanders also were, praising his honesty. Okoro also went on his story because people have called him Mugu. I had a conversation with somebody today. I'm not going to disclose their name or identity. We're like, is he okay? He needs to be flogged. He needs to be beaten. So he went on his social media to say that he's not a Mugu. Yes, he's calling it the right thing to do and thanking God for the opportunity to do so. And it really, can bring tears down right now. But very commendable, Lucky Okoro, wherever you are, you've done a very good job. It's just that hope that you still have a lot of honest and good people. There's still remnant in Nigeria. It's quite commendable. So yes, the incident happened after he picked up this lady from the Aba Main Park and dropped her off at Ariaria. Yes, the Ariaria market. And returning 4 million, like I said again, in today's economy, hardship shows remarkable character and integrity. And this gesture really deserves official recognition to show that integrity is not just admired, but appreciated. And that's it. Now, away from that one, I found this one that also caught my interest. So usually back then in school, depending on the school that you went to, you hear people say they are two fighting. So sort of very English kind of thing to say. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Thursday, that was yesterday, met with Governor Simlai Fubara, not governor, because it's suspended governor. So suspended governor Simlai Fubara and the FCC minister Yesam Wike to resolve political crisis in Rivers State, if you have been following all that's been happening in Nigeria. So the meeting followed Tinubu's March 18 declaration of a state of emergency in the state. A lot of political pundits, legal practitioners have said it was not constitutional to have a state of emergency declared in Rivers State. However, it was cited that it was due to insecurity and breakdown in governance, and this was the reason. So this marks the second time the president met with Fubara since the beginning of the crisis. It looks like peace has been made. Everybody's happy. It's okay. I hope that this works for the people of Rivers State and for the good of Nigerians. That's so much that we can take. We take a quick break, and when we return, we'll head straight to the crux of our conversation. Please stay with us.
Life is made up of moments, some that fill us with joy, others that test our strength. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space to explore the highs and lows of human connection, the love, the heartbreak, and resilience that shapes our life. From relationships to friendships, parenting to partnerships, and so much more. Every week, we share stories and conversations that define us, navigating love, separations, the struggles of parenting, dealing with anxiety and managing the pressures and stress of life. Real conversations that bring us closer, helping us heal, grow, and connect. So join me Mondays through Fridays at 10 p.m. for Heartlines, the show where we connect hearts, have real conversations with real people, one story at a time.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying tuned. If you just tuned in, this is Ways, and tonight we're talking about the movie industry, the Nigerian movie industry, to be very precise. We're saying and asking, is YouTube the future of Nollywood? Because you've had the likes of Kunle Afolayo, who said that, YouTube is actually the future. It's the future. But some people think differently. Well, to make sense of all of that tonight, I do have a guest in the studio. We have actually, moved from a lot of the era, but it will be something that we'll talk about in the course of this conversation. I do have a guest in the studio. He's a filmmaker. He's quite young, and he's doing amazing things. He's also an actor. He goes by the name Riyo David. David, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you very much, Mercy, for having me.
Great. So where do we even start from now? So tell me what's been happening. Movies, I've seen you a couple of films, and all of that. What's really happening in the industry?
Yeah, personally or in the industry?
You personally, in the industry,
yeah.
just what's going on? Bring us up to speed.
I'd say we're advancing. Personally, I'm grateful to explore different channels of expression when it comes to film material, right? Because I know we're talking about YouTube, but we still have TV. We still have streamers. Yeah, I'm on TV. Shout out. We still have streamers. We still have even stage. They find this like form of expression when it comes to making informative content. I'll call it content first up before I'll streamline it down to movies. I think YouTube might be the future for Nollywood, but you can't say anything is the future if there is no structure. I know we've had conversations around structure for a while now, but see it this way, right? If there are no clear guides to doing this thing, everyone can do their own. It's like no regulation happening. So you're buying pepper in Aja for 800 naira, you're buying it in Surulere for 500 naira, you're buying. So that you can't really, if somebody's wanting to inquire how much pepper is in Lagos, you can't say it is this price. So I think that's a problem, right? So as much as we want YouTube to be like the future, right, we agree because it's easy access for the common man. Before now, we had issues of gatekeeping, yeah? So people would spend time making this film. At the time, it was hard to get your content up there because imagine that like 1,000 filmmakers. How many time slots do you think a particular channel can give to films? Right, for 1,000 filmmakers to showcase their work and to have enough airplay and enough to even get returns. So YouTube is, to an extent, more like the messiah of expressions for filmmakers out there. But if it's been the future, I hardly doubt that. I think having a structure would definitely be the future because another industry that is similar to the filmmaking industry is the music industry. And to an extent, they're able to conquer and cover grounds on certain levels, like industry, like having like a structure, proper management and all of this. There's some conversations that happens in film that really it's still not commonplace. It's still like a shocker. Hey, because away from this right now, this conversation majorly is for producers, right? But as an actor, I'd ask myself, what's the place of the actor? Whether the film is playing on Netflix, whether it's playing on YouTube, whether it's playing on TV. What's the position of the actor? What's the benefit of this to the actor? What's the benefit of this to the makeup artist? What's the benefit of this to the art director? What's the benefit of this even to the PA? right? So half the time, we do not get this average recognition for this certain persons. And as such, it's hard for you to say this particular thing would be the future of anything, right? Because we don't have structure yet.
Okay, I didn't think we're going to be that fast. We're going to just jump to the crux of the conversation.
I'm so sorry.
Like, we're just going to be deep in it, but we're already in it. So let's go ahead. If if you say that for the lack of structure or for the want of structure, we can't say that it's the future of Nollywood, then why do we have a lot of, producers and directors and actors? Everyone is chunking movies and putting out movies on YouTube. So why do we have that whole movement transition? It looks like YouTube is the real deal now.
Yeah, it's inherent of us as Nigerians. Just picture this: there's a new supermarket opening, there's a new bar opening, there's a new club opening. People are going to troop in there until there's something new that will come up again. Do you get what I mean? So there's no scale of preference. Now, I understand why everyone, including even the actors, would want to open a YouTube channel now, because of total control, right? People seek control. It's one thing to say, hey, we have X amount of money for this character, for this film. And you realize that, man, it could be a lie, because nobody wants to give everything out on the table yet. But now you realize that this money comes directly to you. So I, Riyo David, now open my YouTube channel. I think I should consider that, by the way. Open my YouTube channel. Open my YouTube channel, make my own film, right? Make it for X amount of budget, way, way lesser than what YouTube would pay me, right? And I put it on YouTube. Again, this counts as residuals for me. It counts as back ends for me, right? Because if I was going to work for someone, right, they'll pay me for that thing. So it's a one-off. Hey, Riyo, so even if it's, let's say they're giving me like good amount of money, I'm being paid like $5 million for the role. After a while, it's like a total buyout. It's like you're buying out something. The guys who made, what's this startup? I can't remember now. So it's like creating a startup and somebody buys it from you. Whatever they make of that, or however that very big, that small startup blows up, you're not going to get anything again, right? Because you don't have no back end. So we producers, directors, yada yada, everybody in Nollywood trying to open a YouTube channel is so that they can have total control of the monies, of the viewership, of feedback. Because sometimes, as an actor, or even as a filmmaker, if you're in other departments, you're the makeup artist, you're done with this job, you're looking forward to the next thing. You don't even bother whether or not people are watching it. You don't even care if the producer has recouped their money or not. You're going to the next thing. And the guy is just there, worried about how to sell his films. I think YouTube might be the way forward, but other conversations around how YouTube can be the way forward should be had, right? So to trace back to what you said about everyone opening YouTube, I think it's majorly because of control. It's so that you can get adequate feedback, first off, from your fans. You can also get financial feedback that comes directly to you. So you don't have to say, oh, I made this film, and now I have to sell to Africa Magic before I get people to come. Again, depending on how it goes. Because right now we're having, one beautiful thing about in the industry that's really, really, that's amazing right now is we're having streamers. We're having African streamers. They're circuits, right? We're creating, pocket streamers. So right now we have things that can rival Netflix, right? However, popularity is not there yet. But I'm saying now, if this guy should blow up, the craze for YouTube will die down. Let's be real. Especially if they have structure that pays a little bit better than YouTube. Again, like I said to you, we don't have a futuristic, before I go on the show, we don't have a futuristic mindset as Nigerians, right? I'm top of the food chain. I want to grab as much as I can grab and leave. I don't care about legacy. I don't care about what happens when the next man comes on the scene.
Okay, so when you say legacy, when the next man comes on the scene, what do you mean?
What do I mean? Okay. We had streamers coming to invest in Nigeria a while back, right? We had Netflix, we had Amazon Prime. But these guys, we all read that they're pulled out maybe, right? They say, you know what, I'm not going to sponsor films again. Go and make your films. When you make your films, I'll review them. If it passes my quality control, and then I'll put it on my channel. Why did that happen? Because people did not think about legacy. People thought about the fact that, oh, I'm the first to do this thing on Netflix. Oh, I'm the first to do this thing on Amazon Prime. So I get this money, right? I do local balance, yama job. right? And then I go. And then the guy who is investing is like, but this is not how the dream was sold to me, right? I came on board because I believe that these guys have a market. And now because you're making shitty films to put on a platform where there are really good movies made, the audience are smart, right? It's not way back when we used to watch Pion disappear. And then, yeah, you're like, oh my God, look at that. Right now we have like advanced VFX. And now if you tune into Netflix right now, you can easily watch a straw at the same time you're going to see another local Nigerian film there. And you're going to be like, I just really see straw. This is good. So the ratings for the Nigerian film would go down. Whoever invested money from Netflix would say, I can't keep on doing this thing because it doesn't meet the standard. So now imagine the guy who was giving money to do something worthwhile. They're giving you the same budget you required. Oh my God, I want to do something like Avengers. I want to make someone disappear. You sell these guys a dream. What's the amount? Oh, it's going to cost me just $50,000 or $200,000. And they're like, okay, great. They give you this money. You don't go and say, they go, no way, they go chop and the money already enter our hand. Tomorrow, you're not happy to reinvest in such a person. You're not happy to reinvest in such an environment. Even if some other person who would do the job solidly would come, you would doubt. Because the first guy who has gone has done a shabby job. And that's how legacy is reared.
Well, you also talked about Netflix. We all remember the story. If you don't remember, once upon a time, Netflix said they were pulling out and all that. But, you know, the back end, the story that we were told was that we had less subscribers in Nigeria. And it was quite worrisome because I know that we're a very consumerist nation. We spend. We were just loud people, if that's the word to say. So where it's happening, we will put our money, right? So
yes.
I was a bit worried when I understand that there's economic downturn and some people blamed it on the economy, but the story that we heard why Netflix was pulling back was because of the numbers of subscribers that we had. Yeah. But is that really the case, or it was about the kind of content that Netflix was getting?
I think it's a bit of both, and then majorly the dream that was sold to Netflix. I don't think whoever sold this dream to Netflix did proper data analysis. What am I trying to say? Allegedly we're 200 million or a little over.
237 million people.
237 million people.
Well, yes.
If you go into your statistics, you realize that not up to 37 million people are proficient with using smartphones.
Okay.
So if you have that number now and you're going to...
Well, we haven't done any statistics or research, so it's still speculation. You can't say...
I'm speculating because I've done a bit of my research, and I can tie this into various industries that this connects, right? Even in our politics, right? They tell you, this amount of persons vote. But it's really not the amount of persons that voted, you get. Right? So back to the statistics situation or conversation I was laying on the table now. Now they tell you that we're over 237 million, right? Accurately said, right? You realize that whether you like it or not, the average market woman cannot navigate Netflix, but she can navigate YouTube. Yeah, she can navigate YouTube. I mean, if you got just spiritual Nigerian, shout out to my mother, right? She will always send you those Facebook links. They can navigate those things, but trust me, to navigate Amazon Prime, to navigate Netflix, it's a little bit of a hassle for them. Away from that, I'm saying, how many literate Nigerians do we have? Forget the statistics that the universities give us. People graduate, but they are not smart. They graduate, but they are not educated. I remember when I was serving, and I was just looking at this guy. I'm like, this guy made it past the university to get to this position where we're all together right now, killing ourselves under the sun and in the rain. And this guy doesn't know ordinary, where are you going to? Can't even piece a sentence together in English. I'm like, was he taught in his local language? What exactly happened? So there's a false reality that is being sold even to marketers, that is being sold to people. That's why investors come in here, they realize that, yeah, truly there's a certain amount of number that my market can feed. But these people do not feed my market, not because I'm not delivering the right thing, but because somewhere down the line, there's someone called the middleman that is messing up that statistics. That is telling you that, yes, we've delivered. I remember even when foreign aids would come to deliver solutions to situations like malaria and all of these things. They say we're delivering 200,000 mosquito nets. These guys would put out just 5,000. Guess what? That middleman is going to take 5,000 to go and put it in the market to sell. Does it make sense? So because there's a disconnect between what was sold and what's happening in reality, it's hard for Netflix itself to recoup this. Now, again, you give a particular production house X amount of dollars to make a film. They do not use that entire thing to make the film. They could use a fraction of it to make your film for Netflix and then use the rest to sort out their own local in-house productions, right? Because first off, it seems like a smart thing to do, right? Because as a production outfit, we should continue to be putting out content. That's how Netflix found us in the first place. But it's not the monies that you should be using to put out this content. They gave you money to say, hey, we need 30 props for this. And you're like, you know what, let's just do it 25. Let's do it, we'll go and manage 20. And then the money for the remaining 10 props is being pocketed somewhere. Sometimes could be put to good use for the in-house company, but ultimately it's bad for the industry because you're making a subpar project that the people who are giving you this money at the moment cannot say, yes, I want to give you something more.
In other words, you're saying that the reason for that, conversation or the news that we got, Netflix was pulling and all of that was not just about the numbers, was about the content, the kind of
content, yes.
Low quality content.
Yes.
And what do you think is responsible for that?
Okay, now that's a professional question, right? Personally, from my standpoint, I think it's poor production planning.
Is it not great?
What?
Great?
I think, yeah, it's part of poor production planning, right? Poor production planning is, we need to build a studio for this film project, but I'd rather go and meet my friend that has something that looks like this studio. So if it was going to take me $10,000 to build this studio, I'm going to give this my guy $500 to rent his studio for 1 week. Now, within that 1 week, maybe on the 6th day, on the 5th, or let's say 4th day, this guy hears that, my guy, you don't chop money, oh. Man, you collect this $10,000 for the studio. You're like, what? Hold up, my guy. I was paid $500. And the guy's like, you know what? You're not shooting today. You have to add money for me. I realize that you're ripping me off, right? And then these guys are like, let's make sure. And then you've lost number of days. Next thing, you now start patching. Don't worry. We need to big time already. We already had a timeline for this. So that's one, poor production planning. Number two, lower skill hire, right? We don't hire people with the right skills to come on board. I remember doing a project one time, and almost half of the crew members would be learning on the job. And this was supposed to be a high-profile job. It was worrisome for me because I'm like, this is wrong. First off, it's okay to want to teach people, but what happened to short films? What happened to cupboard projects? What happened to films that, we're doing this so that we can all sit down as an in-house production to watch and say, hey, this is where you did right, this is where you did wrong. We hate to spend money to learn. We rather want to learn on someone's money. That's why they say, can you do this? We say yes, and say, don't worry. And it's funny how it's even like it's like a smart thing to do now in Nigeria, quote and unquote. Say yes first, and then you go and learn it later. But come on now, come on. Something is suffering while you're learning that thing. And I feel like that statement would come alive if you're a smart learner, fast learner, and you are able to deliver on time. But if you're a dull person, don't take that statement. You ruin somebody's business. I'm just saying, right? So yeah, I just think it's higher, poor skill sets higher, and also lack of production planning, pre-production planning.
We would have to go on a short break, and when we return, we'll continue the conversation right here. If you're watching, we'd like to hear your thoughts. What do you think? Especially if you love, Nigerian movies and films, because we've had a couple of persons who say, I know they watch Nigerian film, not consign me, There are a lot of people like that. And I've seen how some actors are very pissed at that. They just say, they watch Nigerian film, but you won't take pictures with us, Abby. Anyways, we'll go on a quick break, and when we return, the conversation continues right here. Please stay with us.
Life is made up of moments, some that fill us with joy, or does that test our strength? Welcome to Heartlights. This is our space to explore the highs and lows of human connection, the love, the heartbreak, and resilience that shapes our life. From relationships to friendships, parenting to partnerships, and so much more. Every week, we share stories and conversations that define us, navigating love, separations, the struggles of parenting, dealing with anxiety and managing the pressures and stress of life. Real conversations that bring us closer, helping us heal, grow, and connect. So join me Mondays through Fridays at 10 p.m. for Heartlines, the show where we'll connect hearts, have real conversations with real people, one story at a time.
Welcome back. If you just tuned in, you're watching Ways hashtag What Are You Saying? I love to say that a lot. So what are you saying? Do you think that YouTube is the future of Nollywood? I'd like to hear your thoughts because there are a lot of people who believe that YouTube is actually the future of Nollywood. Now, some people think that YouTube will be the dead and the end of Nollywood, but different opinion. Well, and let's hear your argument supporting or against that. So the phone lines are open. SMS also, you can text and send your messages via SMS or WhatsApp. The number is 081-8038-46 and 63. 081-8038-46 and 63. Now, you can also call the phone lines, which is 070-250-0077 and 49. I take that number again, 070-250077 and 49, or 070-142424 and 20. Let's hear what you have to say, really. If you're very patriotic, let's hear your thoughts. Okay, so I'll bring another one. I think yesterday I stumbled on a post. It was Omoni Oboli that made the post. I hope I got her name pronunciation correctly. And it was shared by Don Jazzy on his status, so I saw that. And then, not going to read the post verbatim, but I would try to summarize. And she talked about the fact that it's not that we're getting sometimes... nobody is getting, returns on the investment, but we're just doing what we have to do for, the love of it and all of that. Let's support ourselves. So I want to ask, what is it like? Is there really money? Are people profiting, producers? Is this movie the industry a gold mine? And if people are not getting return on investment, why then are you investing in the first place?
Thank you so much. Like, you asked and answered at the same time.
No,
because it's a rhetoric.
I'm saying again, so why then? Because I'm asking.
I don't know.
You should know. You're a filmmaker.
I probably need to get... first off, right, nobody would throw their money back at something that never gave them returns.
So there's money?
There is money. There is money. If there's no money, we don't have people like Mr. Beast or Kai Sinati, the YouTube streamers. I don't know if you get me. So I will not wake up in the morning and try to do this. We will not have people like, okay, maybe Pella be earning from TikTok, but it's the same thing. It's from viewership. It's from the amount of persons that come to your page to watch these things, right? And for YouTube, you're not paying anybody any premium. You're not giving anything to anyone. Right? What you're only investing in is maybe just pop-up ads when people are watching stuff that redirects them back to your page to see what film you've dropped or what content is up there. I believe there is money. Sometimes I think it's a conversation that wants to shield the filmmaker from getting billed. Because in Nigeria, they see you on TV. I'm even worried now. They see me on TV now. From the gates, they're like, Babani, give us something. We don't know how these things work, right? Once you're on TV, you are made. Again, back to the mentality thing that we talked about, right? Nigerians are smart, but we are forced into acting dumb so that we can get ahead with life. and now we create statements that support our being dumb, you know, when people are moving ahead. I believe YouTube gives you that revenue, else people would not be putting work there. The only thing that I know, but this is for music though, is that it depends on the region you're uploading from. So if generally what you should make over a view should be, let's say, imagine you're making $1 from a view. If you're in America, you're making $1, but if you're in Nigeria or its environment, you'll probably be making a bit lesser than that. That's the only thing I know, that region can affect it. And that's because we have not come together to create the structure. That's why the guys who own and run YouTube can wake up to say, hey, you know what? I don't want to take movies from Africa again. I don't want to take content from Nigeria again. I'm only going to focus on this region. That would be a problem for us. That would be a big problem for us. But I want to go back to your question. What? There's money. Oh.
No, but, you know, so again, I mean, like I said, I mean, I'm not reading what she posted verbatim. I wish we could actually have that being displayed, her thoughts on the screen. But she said some of us are not getting return on investment. I'm not sure she was talking about the entire, maybe it was those who were putting movies on YouTube, because I feel like every day, everyone is like, you see somebody, you're going to have your TV soon, right? You know, YouTube and all that. So I'm not sure if he was talking to those who are putting content on YouTube, but she said she talked about Nollywood, you know, we need to save ourselves. Nobody's going to save us.
Yeah.
It's hard all round and what have you. Sometimes some people don't get investment on return. So I'm not sure if it's the YouTube she's talking about, or she's, you know, talking about
generally,
generally.
right?
So, now, but from your answer, it sounds like you're saying that
I'm speaking for YouTube. There's YouTube money.
There's YouTube
there's
money.
streamers money.
Yes. Okay.
There's cinema money too. What matters is the quality of your content and how you're able to draw eyes there.
So why would there be some people that are not getting return on their investments?
Because of the gatekeepers.
Who are they? Okay, tell me about the gatekeepers. What did they do? They just stop you?
My view, wait, chill. I want to be sure this is a safe space.
It's a safe space. Go ahead. You can say you're safe here. Go ahead.
I'm safe. There's camera in front of me.
No, you're safe. You can tell me.
Anyways, I mean, with my full chest, right? Because of gatekeepers, there are different cinema houses that you'd make your content, and after you're done making your film, they take almost 40% of the profit that comes from it. Insane, right?
Wow.
Yeah, insane. So imagine you had someone invest. So it wasn't your personal money. So this money that's coming back now, right? After this guy has broken even, you've given him back his money. What's coming to you? It's not enough for you to invest in another project. And you need to feed. And you need to, of course, pay the people that showed up for it. Now, these same gatekeepers are very picky about films, not because they are picking based on quality, they're picking based on people that are around their belts. So I know you're my guy, bring your film over. I know you're my person, bring your stuff over. At some point, it was a problem. I remember our entry into Sundance. Was it Sundance? Yes, Mami Water. Is it Sundance? Yeah, I think it's Sundance. Mami Water by C.J. Obasi. You know, he had to do cinema. He had to do cinema for a while. That was one of the criteria for you to get nominated into the Oscars, I think. Now, what they did was, they showed this guy's film around 10 p.m. at night, when people can't go to see the film, right? And sometimes you go to watch the film, they'll tell you it's sold out, but the hall is empty, because they're trying to lobby for certain films. Yes. Oh. I recently wanted to see Red Circle at one of the cinemas in, I think at Chevron, or Atlantic Cinema to be precise. And I called in and said, hey, I want to purchase tickets for Red Circle. And they said, oh, the film is out of the cinema. Mind you, this film got in cinema this month, June. As a matter of fact, second week in June, the film got in cinema. June is not over and the film is out. I called the producers because I know one of them. I'm like, hey, guy, this is the information I'm getting. The guy's like, what? Say what? No. I'm going to call them and show you that something went down. That was unbeknownst to the producers. Now, a week into them releasing this film in cinemas, they're already tweeting about how some certain cinemas are not showing them at prime time. Imagine fixing their films for 10 a.m. during the weekdays. Come on now. I should be at work. I should be here. I should be there. Not going to the cinema during the weekdays. Do you understand? At 10 in the morning. Who goes to the cinema at 10 in the morning? So if
jobless person.
Not necessarily. Don't say that. Oh, but you get what I'm trying to say. So they intentionally stifle so that they can strong-arm certain viewers, loyal customers, to seeing certain films that they make. And that's why our viewership ratings keep dwindling every day. And the cinema culture is dying. Again, that's why people would say YouTube is the future of Nollywood. Because I can access YouTube without going through anyone, right? To put my film up there. And when this money comes, I'm not going to say, hey, how much did you make, sir? Let me see your books. It's coming directly to my pocket.
I think we're getting somewhere with this conversation, and it is beginning to make sense. So it might just be the future. It might also be the end, however. But who are really these gatekeepers? Are they like individuals?
Yeah, I mean, there are companies, they're majorly companies. Obviously, they're individuals because individuals make up companies, right? So they are companies. There are people like you and me.
Do you want to mention?
Do I want to mention? Let me see. I'm trying to open a YouTube channel, so I don't think I care about them that much, to be honest.
So who are these gatekeepers in Lagos?
In Lagos, I think it's the cinema houses. As many cinemas as you can. A popular cinema house was part of this conversation. I know I used to be familiar with their name, but yeah, but I think it's really popular. Not Genesis. What's the other guys?
Then it might be Genesis.
No, it's not Genesis. It's not Genesis. But the other guys, film something, yeah.
Theme House.
They don't make films. These guys, they make films too. But
I don't know them.
to be honest, if I think hard, I remember, but I can't remember those guys.
I think that you're being very diplomatic here, but we'll just let that slide. Anyways, I mean, I'm a big fan. I love the cinemas, but I'd love to watch my movie.
We're talking about YouTube, not cinema, so I don't know why you want to.
So we're talking about a conversation led to where we are. So it's more like following up and trying to understand what's going on.
But there are gatekeepers like that. I remember the situation with my friend, was from Film House to be precise. I think I knew about those guys. I don't know about the other ones, but there are new cinema houses springing up now, and I think that they are actually playing by the books and doing it right. So I'm hopeful for even Circuit as a streamer, Nile Group, just to mention a few.
So now that some people are considering, I mean, with all that we have talked about, we have seen how it's. A lot of people are venturing, producers, actors are venturing into this because of control and a lot of stuff. It's easily accessible to those who cannot access certain platforms and what have you. But what about the issue of, protection of this content? I like how we started. You talked about the fact that it's content first, so the protection of this content.
From piracy? Or?
Yeah, from piracy and theft.
Oh, yeah. So, again, like I said, it always going to circle back to structure. Now, when we think about structure, we just think about proper channels. Most times we think about proper channels to express the films, but I think structure borders even around censorship boards and even piracy police. Because if we've got piracy police, that people that will hunt down pirates, right? People who are cloning films. I remember way back in the day, you'd find a bootlegged CD of different films in one. I feel like that's where probably Netflix have gotten the idea, because Nigerians are always ahead of the world, to be honest. So we don't have proper piracy censors or police, as I would call them, to checkmate the issue of piracy. Again, even in cinemas, you say don't go in with your. I feel like the issue of piracy, to an extent, has been curbed, because films are going straight to YouTube. So it's going to be on your drive till you upload it. However, what matters right now is when you upload it, where the piracy problem is now is the faces that they use to promote this work. So you go on YouTube, you see a popular face in a film that the guy is never going to appear.
Oh, so that's a different conversation entirely.
Yes, it is a different conversation.
But I like
to
bring to your notice. There's a certain incident that happened. Bimbo, I mean Bimbo very well. There's a time where she made a post. There was really an outcry about a certain TV station in Ghana that copied or was copying. Took her content and they were airing it on their channel and all of that. So it was more like a very big back and forth, why you bring them my content, you don't have any right to put my content, without my permission and what have you. So how can, YouTube or these producers, how can you now protect your films, especially that YouTube is all over the place? I mean, it's for the want of words now, and I would say YouTube is a globally access platform, right? And so it's not just limited to the Nigerian people. Anybody can actually access YouTube wherever it is they have to have internet. So how can you protect content globally?
Again, like I said, however, how Bimbo came in contact with this guy pirating her work is the same way we should erect offices.
Offices?
Yes, office doesn't have to be like a physical structure, right?
Okay.
Right. So, official positions of persons who can count as piracy police. Now, in a proper structured management, what goes on is, so we've signed a Messi, and Messi is the face, or Messi is a big star, right? Let's say you're a musician and you're doing it right. You see the thing that happens in Nigeria where you go to a barber shop, you see Usher's face on one of those, and you're like, Usher has never stepped into this place. Usher would never come here. Realize that if Usher's management should see that thing, they'll sue those guys. About to close your business because what are you doing? You are, what's the word now? You are making money off the face of my talent. So it's the same thing. If we have people who would act as piracy police and they go around, their only job is to go around YouTube searching for where someone has pirated our content. Searching for where someone has uploaded our content. Because I remember one time when I was working at some station like that, I was producing a show, and I used this guy's music, Will Smith's son, Icon, that's the name of the song. I used it as a theme song for the show. I uploaded it on YouTube. They flagged it immediately. That's because those guys have done the background work. Say wherever this song is uploaded, right? If it's away from this region that has been approved, I don't even need to be there, flag it down. So we need to have those structures happening for us. Again, like I said to you, I agree and not agree at the same time that YouTube might not be the future if we don't have structure. So we still end up pirating and proliferating the market, and it comes out as another Facebook where everybody's running around. Yeah, I mean, Facebook is a beautiful app, but they'll call you old school if you're using Facebook now, you know, right?
Not necessarily. I feel like the
Do you
people
feel touched?
No, the people who are on Facebook, I feel like they're different people. It's not like I'm not there, but for every time we're just taking a break off this main conversation to chat about Facebook now.
Yeah.
See, Facebook, when you hear stories from Facebook, I've seen a story somewhere where they said, where would they get on news from?
Facebook is the worst version of Twitter. Twitter stories are this, but you get what I mean. So they're going to they'll turn YouTube into another watered down market where people just go to watch maybe Major League Coco Melon and anything that's really not relatable. Because again,
but don't you think that YouTube is already watered down? I mean, with some of the movies, I've been on Twitter.
I was going to come into that.
I've been on Twitter. I've seen a lot of comments, and people are saying, "No, what's happening? There's so much meat going on, just so much." As much as we have fantastic films on YouTube, you could also see people reacting, and you trust the crop of people that you have as Nigerians.
Yes.
They are very vocal.
So you get my point now. Now, it's not about the number of content, but the quality of content. That's when I say it's going to be watered down. And I use Facebook particularly because every time you get information from Facebook, first off, you have to double check. Oh man, this must be fake. You get what I'm trying to say? You fact check content that come from Facebook. That's what we're trying to make of YouTube now. Because everybody goes to, I've seen a version of Could This Be Love? I've seen another, maybe It Is Love. So it's just inverted words, same storyline, same faces, same thing. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to watch because of the face of this guy or the face of this lady, or you know what, I'm just not going to watch at all. Very rarely, right? As a matter of fact, we can count how many YouTube films have driven the audience to either taking action or even tears. We're looking for light-hearted humor, Odogu Parara, right? So look at the kind of content that is being celebrated there. Something that makes us smile, that makes us forget that we need to have things that reminds us that we're human beings. The Broken Hallelujah was a bit of a good, you know, show. Right now, so if you check out comedy, I was listening to a podcast, Loose Talk, right? I listen to Loose Talk once in a while, and these guys were talking about how Nollywood, you know, quote unquote, know they try in terms of them not having a particular structure and then blaming it on the audience. Or we're trying to give the audience what they want. But it's not about what the audience wants. Sometimes if you feed these people the right thing, they will take it. Because the same Nigerians watched Squid Game. Was there anything comical about Squid Game? I mean, yeah, there were bits of, you know, relief here and there, but was that the entire scope of Squid Game? Same Nigerians watched Evil Forest. Was there anything comical about Evil Forest way back? Was there anything comical about End of the Weekend? Was there anything comical about Isakaba? No, nothing. Is there anything So right now, we create stories and then we want to do thriller, but somewhere we're like, you know what, let's walk this path that we can bring this comedian to come and do something funny, and then you miss the goal.
You know what, we literally, I literally have to bring you back, you know. We'll continue this conversation because I'm looking at the time. We're almost, you know, out of time.
Time is up already?
Yeah, time is almost up. But I still, because of what you have said, this probably would have been the beginning of the conversation. But it's fine that we're having it, you know, towards
Save
the end.
the best for last.
Yeah. So you've talked about some of those movies. They were really like, you know, they were really like the real thing before we had Netflix and all of the streamers. Yes. Isakaba. Yes. You know.
I know what's interesting. Nigerians, if you have to create a poll, I think you guys should try it on this channel. To create a poll, you realize that people will root for watching those old films than this one. Look at the case in point. There's a film that's going to come out now, Miss Kanye. Right, it's like a remake of Madame Koi Koi and stuff like that. People want to watch things that are well shot but appeal to the local audience, right? I rather want to watch something about, say, a Cliff Orgy, the carnivorous guy, cannibal guy. Right? I want to watch something about I want to watch the life of even these gospel musicians that thrilled us way back then, Akanjawa. I want, like, how did they make this song? Like, you know, I want to see and study the life of Charles Taylor. How do you get into Nigeria? You know, these are things that Nigerians would really, really love to enjoy.
So what do you think is, you know, the movies like I've mentioned, Isakaba, Wicked, Blood Sisters,
Blood Sisters.
End of the Wicked, and where have you? All of those movies. Then, what do you think is different from what we have now?
Authenticity. Stories were real. You appreciate effort, right? You could see the effort, and what's different? Authenticity to them. That's what we're having right now. So right now it's about clear pictures. Oh, there's a fine picture. Great, let's go about it. But there's no story. Like we can put up Nigerian films here, and I'll tell you why this story is wrong, why this structure is wrong, why this plot is wrong. And these are logical things. It's not anything technical. So you get, I think authenticity is the difference between then and intentionality in terms of original stories.
In less than 1 minute, what would you say to young producers, actors that are trying to get into Nollywood via YouTube?
Okay. Understand your why. Why do you need to get into Nollywood via YouTube? If you understand your why, then I think you're going to conquer and do really great. Because there are other structures like this. There's the festival circuit, right? You can make things like that. And then there's a theater for change. We could make films that are socially impactful. And then there's documentary. Like, there's so many arms, right? So you as an actor, there's voice acting, there's animation, there's a whole lot of these things. It's not only YouTube that we need. So please, my guy, understand your why. Once
Well,
you get your why, you solve half of your problem.
Davey, thank you so much. It just reminded me of my very first voice acting role that I had way back. You were actually on that
Oh my
scene,
God,
courtesy
okay.
of the BBC. It was beautiful. Great memories way back. Well, Riyo David is a filmmaker. He's also an actor, an amazing one. And we'll definitely have another time with you right on this set. It's been great talking to you. In case you missed it, we've been talking and asking if YouTube is the future of Nollywood. It's okay to engage with us further. Leave a comment in the comment section. Thank you so much for being part of the show as well. I'd like you to head straight to our YouTube channel now at Official Upgrade TV. Interact further with us. Drop a comment and most importantly, follow us on all of our social media platforms and engage. And remember to like, share, and comment and invite your friends and family to watch the show and follow us as well. Now, if you missed my quote for today, here's a reminder. I think it's YouTube movies is the future. This will give the kind of exposure that Netflix wouldn't give. I think that's what I was meant to say. If those films get the right publicity, it's easy for anyone to access them directly from a phone. Kunle Afolayan is quoted on that one. I will not see you tomorrow because it's a weekend. Hopefully, I see you on Monday at 8 p.m. Enjoy the rest of your evening and do have a wonderful night rest. My name is Messi Eboko. Good night.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population, and with little or no meaningful engagement, leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.